What do you want to start with?
Well, when you get the chance, when we pull it up, you should see what I titled the video,
Yeah, let me pull it up.
because that's what I would like to talk about.
Did you? Yeah. All right. Let me see. That's funny. That's actually an interesting headline.
Right?
I don't entire. We'll have to talk about it then.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's actually not a bad. Is that what you want to start with, or do you want to?
No, we can start with whatever. I feel like we
How
can
about?
quick do F1 because it'll take less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Let's start with F1. Um, pull this up real quick. So I do have the driver standings. So let me share screen. So we should be able to see that now.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we are now in must-win territory for Verstappen. Like he has to win out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, Lando obviously finishes first last week. Also, as much as I am on the Norris side of the argument for McLaren, that was not a penalty on Piastri.
I think unfortunately this is one of those things where like by the FIA rule book it is a penalty, but the FIA rule book sucks. Like
Well, and also they've made decisions not based off that before, though.
yeah.
Like they've this isn't the first time that they've made a decision like this controversial. You know,
I
like
think the unfortunate thing is the person that got the crap end of that contact had nothing, like was the only one that did that corner correctly. He left enough room for
Mhm.
everybody. Antonelli turned a little too sharp a little too soon, which caused Piastri to lock up. And the only thing that I will say in Piastri's not defense, whatever the like prosecution against Piastri is, you and I have done sim racing and you don't have experience with turning off ABS. When you turn ABS off, if you lock the brakes and you release the pressure a little bit, you'll slow down faster because your brakes will stop locking and like you won't be skidding, you'll actually be slowing the wheels down. So like
yeah,
he should have released pressure and he ended up locking his brakes for a solid 15-20 meters. So like that's the only thing where I was like, all right, buddy. But everything else, yeah, I think that wasn't a needed penalty. He still came in what fourth, I think it was.
what Antonelli?
No, Piastri.
Oh, Piastri. Yeah, he came in. Yeah, I think it was fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean that would have been an interesting battle to see him against Norris. You
yeah,
know, um, but I feel like I said this last week too. Like even before the race, like this is Lando's to lose.
hmm
Like if he loses this drivers' championship, it's probably his fault,
yeah,
unless he
absolutely.
gets really unlucky. But I mean, we're looking at the only way I can foresee him losing it is if he DNFs a race
Well, and
or
here's the thing
or
with
three.
Verstappen is Lando would have to DNF at least one race. Like mathematically, Verstappen is still in, but he is 49 points down on Lando Norris, and you get 25 points for a race win. Now Qatar, if you win both the race and the sprint, you get 33. So like the maximum amount of points that are available to the drivers right now is I think 75 plus, so 83 points. So it is possible, but that
Yeah.
requires a Lando Norris that has been mega consistent the past few weeks to DNF
Mhm.
at least once. Um, I also think this is one of those people are saying like Piastri's still in it, and he is. However, I would like to point out Lando has had 6 years of experience in this sport. Piastri has had two. We are about to go into what the F1 community calls a triple header, which means three race weekends in a row. One of them is a sprint race weekend, and two of them are all three of them actually are relatively high temperatures compared to other tracks. I mean, Abu Dhabi and Qatar, I believe, are in the Middle East, and then Las Vegas is in the middle of Nevada. Like, those are three insanely hot races. We saw how Piastri did in Singapore. We saw how he did in Baku. Like, he has not been consistent, except for consistently finishing lower than fourth. And Lando has had more experience in the sport with triple headers and sprint weekends. So I think you're absolutely right. This is Lando's to lose. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's crazy? I mean, I think Mercedes has the second spot locked up for constructors.
Oh yeah, I think Antonelli's second place sealed that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, that was such a good race by him. Like, it was just crazy to see, like, him be that successful. Like, we knew he could do it. It's just he finally, like, put an entire weekend together.
Yeah.
And is it crazy to say that he could jump Lewis Hamilton by the end of the year?
Absolutely not. I mean, he's only 26 points down. I think the Ferraris looked atrocious last weekend.
They're so week to week. They are incredibly week to week. Like, Ferrari, you never know what you're going to get. Cue the Forrest Gump reference.
Yeah, anyway, the box of chocolates.
Like a box of chocolates.
Dude.
Quite literally.
Yeah, I think that's like Leclerc is used to that, so he's managing it slightly better, and then Hamilton is just like, what is going on? But no, I think, Verstappen's championship hopes are next to dead. I think he's 1 foot in the grave already. I do think he may pass Piastri before Piastri catches up to Norris.
Really?
Yes. I truly believe that is something that could happen.
With the way that Piastri's been racing, I mean, minus the race last week, he didn't do horribly in that race. But, like, I mean, I don't know. I could see Verstappen jumping Piastri. I could see Antonelli jumping Hamilton. But other than those two things, I don't really see any other switches.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it like Piastri admitted that it had, at first he was like, the car felt weird, but then Norris said the same thing, and then Piastri was like, it's not the car anymore, like, I just can't get, like, he literally said the car feels normal, and then everybody else is saying that, they're sabotaging his car, which I don't know if you saw, there's a podcast called the Red Flags Podcast, where Gunther Steiner, who used to be the team principal for Haas, he goes on there a lot, and they have a segment called Gas or Brake, where it's they say a statement, and gas is true, brake is false. And someone said McLaren is sabotaging Oscar Piastri, and Gunther Steiner said brake, like, this is the worst take I've ever seen in my life. No professional sports team would willingly sabotage one of their competitor. Like, he's absolutely right. And also recently, on a different podcast, Zach Brown explained the McLaren podium celebration without Piastri situation. Did you see that?
No, I actually didn't, but I'm quite interested to hear about that.
So, he said, and keep in mind, multiple F1 sources and media outlets have confirmed that this was an impromptu photo orchestrated by Formula One. Like, Formula One, as a copyrighted entity, had reps go down and be like, hey, we want to take a picture on the podium for winning the Constructors. Have at it. Oscar Piastri was down in the media pen. Like, and I mean,
about that.
It's a long walk from the media pen to the podium. He was in the
Norris
media
was
pen.
going there, right?
Yes, exactly. And Norris was on his way there. And then F1 came to Zach Brown and was like, hey, let's take a picture on the podium with the McLaren team. And he was like, we don't have Piastri. Or Norris, like, he was like, I don't know where Piastri, I'm pretty sure Piastri's in the media pen and I don't know where Norris is. And they were like, well, why don't you just get the team up there anyway, and then we'll see what, like, they basically were like, we'll see what happens. If they show up, they show up. Well, Lando came across the team, and Zach was like, hey, we're going to go take a picture up on the podium for the celebration. They get up there, and Zach Brown says he looked at Lando, and he was like, Piastri's not here, and this is going to turn into a shitstorm for us. Like, he called it, he was like, Piastri is not here. We couldn't do anything about that. We're about to get ripped into shreds.
I will say, even with their knowledge of it, like, it's still a bad look.
It absolutely is. I think, yes, there's the level of F1 asked you to do it, but F1 is not holding guns to your head and telling every single one of your team members to get up on the podium now. Like, you could have said no.
They could have said, we are waiting until Oscar gets over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't take any pictures until Oscar gets here. And,
like, don't even go up there until Oscar's there. Like,
yeah. I will say the cameraman that was recording Piastri's interview, masterpiece. I mean, he unfocused from Piastri. I don't know if you saw this. He unfocused from Piastri and focused in on the TV right behind him that showed McLaren celebrating. Dude, it was masterful. As a McLaren fan, I would be upset, but I was like, nah, this is clever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so actually, we do have something to talk about, something else with F1.
Oh?
Which is, if I scroll down here a little bit, Alpine locked in both their drivers for next year. They're running it back with Gasly and Colapinto.
I saw that.
So another year of garbage for them probably, and it's not necessarily the driver's fault. It's just such a bad car.
I think Colapinto is not the best driver on earth. Pierre
Gasly's fine.
Yeah,
he's like, if he had a better car, he'd be fine. But
the only teammate he's ever lost to is Max Verstappen when he was on Red Bull, and I think Gasly's beaten Tsunoda when they were in AlphaTauri twice. He's beaten Esteban Ocon when Ocon was in Alpine. Now he's beating Franco Colapinto and Jack Doohan. So I think he's a solid driver. He's on a shitty team.
My question is, isn't the only spots that are open now Red Bull's second seat and then V-Carb's seat?
Yeah, actually, I saw a thing where, I don't remember who it was that said it, but there was like leaked information, and whether it's true or not, someone said they're looking at one of the Red Bull junior drivers to come into V-Carb, and I was like, you already have 4 drivers. That's like, I don't understand. Whatever.
And here's my thing. Does Red Bull re-sign Tsunoda? Because here's the thing, what I've noticed is that from week to week, when Verstappen's complaining about the car, Tsunoda sucks. But when Verstappen's having a great race and you hear nothing about the car, Tsunoda tends to be around the top 10.
Yeah.
So I'm almost wondering if it's more of a car thing than a Tsunoda thing.
It absolutely is. That car has been a monster for the past year and a half now.
I'm saying, do they just like run it back with him next year, or do you think they try to get Hadjar?
As much as I'm a believer in Hadjar because of how well he's done, I think they do run it back with Tsunoda now that he's had well over a year. Like, he did every race this season bar 2. He didn't do the first 2 races of the season. Liam Lawson did. I do think they run it back with Tsunoda and keep Hadjar at V-Carb for one more year, because they did a thing last year where Lawson was only in V-Carb for, I think, half a season, not even, when Ricciardo broke his hand. And then they jumped him up to Red Bull, and he did horribly those first 2 races. Granted, I think he should have had one more race because it was Suzuka. He's very strong at Suzuka. But regardless, I think they learned their lesson of getting someone who's been in the car for a year or less and bumping him up to the monster that is the Red Bull. So yeah, I think they run it back with Nico.
Is it like weird to say that, like, I don't know, I feel like this feels weird, but like, we all know Lando's gonna win it. Like, I'm already kind of looking towards next season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I just feel like this season has given us, like, everything that it's gonna give us so far. Like, we had a championship scare with Piastri, and clearly he kind of choked it away. Because he really did have a big lead up until, a couple races ago. And then we saw Verstappen get close, and we were like, ooh, is this going to be a 3-way, horse race? And then Lando just runs away with it. And I feel like there's nothing much more to watch the rest of the year. I mean, you can disagree with me, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think if we see Lando or Piastri DNF in Vegas, then we still have something to watch. I think if it continues the way it has the past few weeks, I think it's in the bag. Call me crazy. I think Mercedes world champions next year. I don't necessarily know about one of the drivers. Which drivers I think Mercedes will
very possible.
win constructors next year with the new regulations and everything. I'm very curious to see how Cadillac does. I'm very curious to see how Audi does. Next season's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Yeah, we'll have to see. But all we do know is that Ferrari's probably going to be mid again.
Yep.
That's what we do know.
Yep.
Anything else in the F1 world? I mean, we've got Vegas next week. If Lando wins Vegas, you can pack it up. It's over. Not mathematically, but like if he wins, it's over.
Yeah. Well, maybe if they finish. Let me think. If Lando finishes first, and Verstappen finishes third, it is mathematically impossible for Verstappen to pass Norris. So if Norris wins and Verstappen finishes third or below, Verstappen's out.
I just want it to come down to the last race.
Right? Let me do that math. Because after this, there'll be 58 points.
If Lando wraps it up before the last race, there's not much to watch for then last race.
Yeah. I mean, there will be on the level of, I think, Antonelli possibly passing Hamilton. If Ferrari has, for some reason,
there will be some minor storylines to watch, But, it'll be a pretty stress-free drive for everyone, that last race, probably.
Yeah, if Lando wins this race, and I think no matter what, even if Piastri comes in second, both Vegas and Qatar, I think that's Norris's to win. I think Norris has it. Oh my God! Wait a minute! I just realized
Lando can clinch this week technically.
Well, yes and no. He can clinch from Verstappen.
Piastri DNFs.
If Piastri DNFs, he will be 49 points below Lando, and with a sprint race weekend, there's 58 points available. If Lando wins this race and next race. Well, if Lando wins one of these races, I'm pretty sure he does clinch from Piastri going into Abu Dhabi. I'd have to check my math on that, but I'm pretty sure as long as he wins either Vegas or Qatar, mathematically Piastri will be in, but
I think we can even just simplify it. I know there's math to it, but if Norris wins this weekend, it's over in my mind.
Well,
no matter where Piastri, even if Piastri comes in second or third, it's over.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that, and we can move on here. If you are watching in the chat and you'd like to talk about something specific, you can drop it in the chat, and we can discuss it. But I think that's all for F1 today. Yep. Except if I just super fast go to team standings, we can see that Mercedes is starting to pull away from Red Bull and Ferrari, and that's kind of what we expected. It's what I expected personally. I thought they were going to do it, and it looks like they will, barring any significant losses. So, if we move to NFL, which is the title of our stream this morning, the Patriots are the number 1 seed in the AFC at the moment. Eagles are number 1 in the NFC, and the Colts and Broncos are still hanging out up here. I mean, Ethan, if we were talking about this before the season started, we would not have had the Patriots, Colts, or Broncos maybe even making the playoffs this year.
I would have had the Broncos. I think Bo Nix showed good form last year that they could have sneaked in. But I definitely would not have said the Patriots or the Colts in a million years.
Yeah,
I'll go as far as to say I wouldn't have said the Seahawks either. I think the Rams and the Niners I would have said would have been stronger than the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty crazy. Like the top four teams: Patriots, Colts, Broncos, Steelers.
Yeah.
Would have never expected that.
No.
Um, the only one out of these top four that's kind of unexpected is you're right. I think the Seahawks are a bit of a surprise team this year. Um, I do have Kenneth Walker in fantasy, and he's frustrating me a lot. But other than that, this is a really good team.
I think their game this week against the Rams will be very telling as to.
It will be, because if they lose that game, like not that they're frauds because they're a very good team, but if they lose against the Rams, that shows you kind of where they both are at this point. Like the Rams are a step ahead of them if Seattle loses.
Yeah. Washington is playing currently. Washington and Miami.
Yeah, Washington and Miami. I mean, that's a toilet bowl essentially. Yeah. But yeah, Washington, they're done for this year. The Dolphins are done as well. That's kind of just like an exhibition game today. Really, they're playing for a draft pick at the end of the year.
Yeah. You and I are playing in fantasy.
We are, yes.
You're gonna
kick
my butt.
And I had Hunter Henry on Thursday night, and he got me like 8 points. But
easy win for you.
So this is kind of what we're looking at this week. The Chiefs are still on the bubble. I mean, the fact that they do not currently hold a playoff spot is kind of mind-boggling. The Niners, especially with how injury-riddled they have been, they're still on the precipice of the playoffs. And then we've got some teams down here. I could see teams like the Chiefs, Ravens, and maybe even Texans quite possibly sneaking in, because I think the Jaguars, I mean, we talked about it earlier this year. They started like 4-1, but we all knew that was kind of like a fraudulent start.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to slip down, and I bet that Jacksonville misses the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sold on the Steelers yet either. So if I had to pick, I think the Ravens would surpass the Steelers, and the Chiefs will take the Jaguars spot, would be my prediction.
Yeah.
But
also, I think the Bears is a little bit of a shock. I thought the Vikings would be a little bit better. I knew the NFC North was going to be like a tight race, but I thought Bears was going to be the one outlier. This is interesting. I mean,
think about this. If the Bears beat Minnesota this week and the Eagles beat the Lions tonight, the Bears will be first place in the NFC North.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane. I do think Detroit is going to win the division, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
I could see the Bears coming in second and keeping this wild card spot here.
Which would be interesting.
And that's all head coaching. They hired Ben Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator from the Lions. And you see he immediately transformed their offense to be something good. And it's crazy what a good head coach can do for you.
Yeah.
But let's move to the subject of the video today, which is, are the Patriots frauds at 9-2?
I would like
That's
to
kind
say
of a crazy statement. If you want to start off on that one, you certainly can.
I would like to say this was my title idea. Please pull up the Patriots schedule, if you will.
Yeah, that's literally what I was. Because you're right. I mean, they've kind of played a soft schedule.
Kind of. I don't know if you noticed this, but the Buccaneers and the Bills are some of the only teams that they have played that have even been in the playoff talk this season. They have played the worst schedule in the NFL, the second worst schedule in the record. Sorry, they've played the worst record in the NFL. They've played the second worst record in the NFL twice. They've played the third worst record. They've played the fourth worst record, and they played the fifth worst record twice. So that is 7 of their 11 games that they've played where they have played the 5 worst records in the NFL.
All right, here we go. I'm pulling it up on ESPN because that'll be the easiest to look at.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a look at this. All right, because you're right. Let's break this down. And in fact, they do have a good team. Like, let's not take
Yes.
away
Oh
from
my
the
gosh,
fact that
yes. They have
they're
a good team.
But let's look at their softy schedule that they've had. Let's keep in mind they lost week 1 to the Raiders, and the Raiders are
Horrible.
abysmal this year. They barely beat Miami. Miami's abysmal this year. Lost to Pittsburgh. They're around 500.
I was gonna say they're okay, like they're decent.
Their first convincing win was against Carolina, and that's what you're supposed to do to Carolina.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
Carolina's been one of those up and down teams that you like can't tell if they're good or not. So I will also go with they're decent.
So let's go with they've had one deserving win so far. Well, not deserving. They probably deserve to beat Miami too, but let's just say Buffalo was their first real win of the year.
Yes.
Against a real team. So far, up until Buffalo, they've played a bunch of nobodies, basically.
Yeah.
And then they play Buffalo, they win. They almost lose to New Orleans, but they beat them.
Hell,
They beat Tennessee.
their toughest win was against the Atlanta Falcons. Like that was their closest and toughest win. And the only reason they won is because Atlanta missed an extra point.
The 3 most difficult teams that they've played all year are the Bills.
Yep. The Bucks. Oh, you froze. I think he's gonna say the Bills,
That's
Bucks,
3
and the
teams that
Steelers.
you played.
Sorry, you froze for a bit. Did you said the Bills, and I'm guessing you said the Bucks and the Steelers?
Well, I actually said Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Because, I mean, I feel like if Atlanta played Pittsburgh today, Atlanta would beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, this is a really soft schedule. And if you take a look at their schedule moving forward,
Oh my gosh.
again, they have Cincinnati today.
Easy win.
Or not today, next week. They'll probably beat Cincinnati. New York, they will dismantle New York.
Yep.
Buffalo, I'll give Buffalo this one.
think
So there's a
Buffalo
loss
splits.
there.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll beat Lamar in
Not
Baltimore.
in
so that's
Baltimore.
another loss.
Yeah. They'll
But
beat the
you're
Jets.
and then they'll beat the Jets. They'll beat the Dolphins.
Yep.
So they're gonna be 13-4.
Yeah. Minimum.
But this schedule was so easy for them. Like, and
They
I know,
literally
like,
have
I'm not gonna
5
sit here and
teams that
complain
are above
about their
500.
schedule.
No, not even. I can't even say they'll have 5 games above 500 because out of all of the games that they played, Buffalo's above 500, so that's 2 games. Let me think. Tampa is above 500, and then Pittsburgh.
Baltimore will be above 500.
But as of now, they're not. So theoretically,
Right.
4 of their 8 or 17 games, they're playing teams above 500, and one of them is barely above 500. I think Buffalo and Tampa are their only real threats until Baltimore gets their act together.
Which they're starting to, by the
Yeah,
way.
they are. Like, they're good. They are a good team. They have a good running situation. They have a good passing situation. They have a good receiver core. They have
At worst,
their defense is a lot better than I was expecting.
they're going to be 12-5.
Yeah.
And, like, that's going to get them, they're going to be a top 3 seed.
Yep.
And, like, with an easy schedule, of course. But you know what, though? I'm not one to sit here and complain about schedules.
No.
Although, so let's answer the question before I move on here. Are the Patriots frauds?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Yep.
However, if they had a more difficult schedule, they'd probably be hovering, what are they, 9-2 right now? They'd probably be around 7-4 or maybe 6-5 at the moment.
I still
If they
think
had
they'd be playoff contention.
Oh, yeah, they would make the... Listen, their offense is good. Like, Drake May is a really good quarterback. Like, if you literally see in every single game this year, he's thrown for over 200 yards.
Yeah, which is insane. I saw him when we were drafting as a backup, and it was between him and Dak Prescott, and I was like, there's no way Drake May on the Patriots is going to get me points. I know Dak is inconsistent, but I'd rather have him. boy, did I make the wrong decision.
You have to give Mike Vrabel credit for coming in because he transformed the defense. He's a defensive guy. And Josh McDaniels comes back as the offensive coordinator, which, to remind everybody, he was the coordinator when Brady was there.
Yeah.
And they were winning all these games. So it's like they have their defensive guy, they have their offensive guy, and so their coaching is just so clean right now. Like, so even if they played some more difficult opponents, who's to say they wouldn't steal one or two of those anyway?
Yeah.
So, I mean, is their record deserved right now? Absolutely. Did they have a soft schedule?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, and Noah's on. And what's funny is he is a Patriots fan. So, Noah, we're talking about the Patriots right now. And we're just discussing if they're frauds or not because they've had a cupcake schedule.
They have. Sorry. They're not frauds. We agree that they are not frauds. They have a good team. However, their schedule is probably the easiest schedule in the entire NFL right now.
Yeah, they had a very easy schedule this year.
Well, and you know what? I would say I don't think if you go back to like a week before the regular season starts, I don't think they were supposed to. I think if you look at it, Miami was supposed to be a good team. Pittsburgh was supposed to be a good team. Buffalo is a good team. Tampa Bay was supposed to be a good team. And I'm saying this as a Falcons fan. There was a lot of hype around Atlanta's new team.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
And also, Cincinnati was supposed to be good.
The Ravens.
Baltimore.
Theoretically, they should have ended this season at with 7 losses. 7 or 8. They still had an easy schedule, but I think there were a lot of surprise teams that were they're trash now.
Well, their record is deserved either way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and that's the thing. They're not really getting upset other than, that week 1 loss was pretty bad. But, other than that, losing to Pittsburgh is fine because Pittsburgh has their weeks where they're, really good.
Yeah.
But let's keep in mind, the Patriots turned the ball over, how many times in that game?
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on, because we're talking about schedule now so much that I want to pull up because this team has been getting so much flack.
Yeah.
For.
Did you see Eagles NFL schedule Epstein pop up?
So I just want to bring this up because everybody's like, oh, the Eagles are frauds. Their offense sucks this year. Their offense is so bad. And let's look at the Eagles' schedule this year, shall we? Because they've played the most difficult schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, they start the year off at Dallas. Dallas sucks. Okay, they beat Dallas. Kansas City, even though they're 5-4, that was in Arrowhead. They're still a good team.
Yep.
The Rams, great team. Tampa Bay, good team. Denver, great team. The loss to New York was that was a crappy loss.
That was a surprise.
Minnesota is New York steamrolled as they should. Green Bay was a W. That was a really defensive game.
Yeah.
But let's look at the rest of their schedule, too. They've got Detroit coming up at Dallas, which Dallas, again, they're kind of this year. And then they have to play Chicago, who's great this year. Just look at these teams. They've played, if I just count them, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Tampa Bay, Denver, Detroit, Chicago. That's 6 teams who are, insanely good this year.
Yeah.
And yet people are like, oh, the Eagles are frauds.
Yeah. I don't understand.
I don't know that. Because then they also have to play the Chargers, who are good. This and then they have to play Buffalo. This schedule is so unforgiving, and yet we're still 7-2.
Can we just say with the schedule makers though, why do you have the Eagles playing the Commanders? Both of their Commanders games are at the end. That made no sense to me.
Those should both be wins for us.
I think they'll split. Daniels is out for the year though, right?
Pretty much of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about the whole year, but he's not going to play Week 16. I doubt it.
I think if he plays Week 18, you might split.
I doubt they would throw him out Week 18 though, because it's not like they're going to make the playoffs, so they're not going to risk him.
True.
So they'll here's the Eagles' guaranteed wins for the rest of the year. They will handle Las Vegas at home.
Yep.
They'll beat Washington twice, is my prediction. So they would win 3 games.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. So at minimum,
10
they're
10
going to
and
finish
7.
10 and 7.
Yeah.
But
I also think
the
they beat
Detroit-
Dallas again.
Yeah, Dallas's defense is so bad. They probably will beat Dallas again. You know, so they'll have some wins here towards the end of the year. And if they can beat Detroit tonight, things are looking really, really good for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do we want to get to our predictions for the week?
Real quick, can we go over the Falcons' schedule?
Oh yeah, let's do it because they've blown some games,
Dude.
and they play the Panthers today. I have to laugh because the 2 most bipolar teams in the league are playing each other today.
Yeah.
I do think Atlanta wins though because they got embarrassed last time they played Carolina.
Yeah. I think they're on, as you can see, a 4-game losing streak. Like, you start the season out at 3-2 with wins against Washington and Buffalo. This is out of all 8 games that they have, or 9 games that they have played, out of all 9 games that they have played, this is the number of games that I think went the way they should have. Lost to Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Beat Minnesota.
Even though that was so winnable.
I know.
That was such a winnable game.
Well, they had 2 missed kicks. Minnesota. Yeah. I think that one makes sense knowing what I now know about Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Carolina. No, that did not make sense.
No, that's ridiculous.
Washington.
That's ridiculous.
If Jaden Daniels was playing, I think the Falcons still might have won that, but I think I would have made sense if they had lost. Buffalo.
That's a surprise W.
That's
right
a surprise
there.
W. The injured San Francisco 49ers.
They should have lost that.
They should have won that. Miami. They should have won that.
Yeah.
New England. I'll give them the loss. Patriots have been a crackhead of a team.
On the road.
Yep.
Although, again, another missed
kick. Indianapolis, they sent it into overtime and then gave up one of the easiest to stop runs of all time. So, like,
now,
even if I get rid of the fact that Tampa, New England, and Indianapolis are 3 top-tier teams, they lost because of stupid mistakes. They should, if I am ignoring the games that they should have won, theoretically, they should be 9-0. Theoretically, they should be 9-0. They should have beat Carolina. They should have beat Tampa Bay with not missing 2 kicks. They should have beat injury San Fran. They should have beat Miami. They should have beat New England without missing the kick. And they should have beat Indianapolis in overtime.
I'm going to say something. I think the only loss that they actually lost, that they probably, I'll give them the loss, the Colts are really good this year.
Yeah.
I would say the Colts lost, like, even though it was such a close game, like, I kind of expected them to lose that game anyway.
Me too.
So, you know, the big blemishes on their schedule right now is that loss to Carolina.
Miami.
Honestly, the loss to San Fran shouldn't have happened because they were so injured. And the loss to Miami was, like, kind of out of nowhere. Now, you were missing Drake London and Michael Penix. So, like...
But that shouldn't have counted for a 24-point deficit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But if we look at their schedule moving forward, though, there is some hope.
Yeah.
If they beat Carolina today, they'll probably beat New Orleans. They'll probably beat the Jets. Those
will put them at
3 wins in a row. 3 wins in a row right there, which would put them at what?
6-6. I think they then lose to the Seattle. Well, you know what? I don't even know. I can't.
They will lose to Seattle. There's no way they're beating Seattle. I can't see it.
I think
unless Seattle has a big injury or something.
I think they beat Tampa. I think they split.
I could see them splitting with Tampa, so that makes them 7-7. I think they beat Arizona.
Yep.
So that would make them 8-7.
They'll lose to the Rams.
Lose, so that would be 8-8, and then win against New Orleans. They're gonna finish 9-8.
They should.
The question is that enough for them to get in? Probably not.
You know what?
And
Wait.
what's funny is if you flip one of these L's into W's, they could have made the playoffs.
Yeah. I think, and this is what pisses me off about being a Falcons fan. You have the number 1 and number 2 seed in the AFC and the number, 3 seed in the NFC with the Buccaneers. And all of those are games that you either should have sent into overtime / should have won if not for missed kicks, and the other one you did send to overtime. You are competing with the best teams in the league.
Exactly.
And then you get blown out by the Panthers 30-0. You get destroyed by Miami and an injury-ridden San Francisco. Dude, I want to shove my head through a window. Every time I watch them play, I have to turn the TV off halfway through.
But see, again, that's the thing. The games that you expect them to win, they're losing. And then, their signature win of the year is Buffalo.
Yep.
And then their signature L is the Panthers.
Yep.
Out of nowhere. And it's just those are 2 games that define their season right there. They're just so bipolar.
Well, and if you scroll down to show the rest of their schedule, can I tell you what I absolutely see happening?
What?
They somehow beat LA. They somehow beat Tampa. They somehow beat Seattle. But they lose to one of the games to New Orleans. They lose to New York once. They're not making playoffs this year. I know that. I've accepted that, but
they could go 9-8, and they would probably just be out of contention.
Well, and you know what? That sucks because then they don't. Not that they do anything with draft picks, but then they don't get good drafts. Other than Bijan, they have not done great drafting the past 4 years.
And they're using Pitts a lot more this year, but I still think they could be using him even more.
Yeah.
Well, they should be lining him up at receiver even more than they are.
Yeah.
Because imagine this: if you had London, Mooney, and then Pitts as receivers.
Yeah.
You can run Pitts as a receiver. He's a glorified receiver.
Pretty much.
If you saw him in college, he played receiver more than tight end. He's a classic receiving tight end. And yet, if you look at his stats in the NFL, they're not great because their coaches haven't used him properly.
Yeah. I'm looking at, even the build of Kyle Pitts. You look at how teams like the Niners use George Kittle or the Raiders use Brock Bowers. He blocks for a lot of the plays. Who the hell is Kyle Pitts blocking? He's going to get snapped in half as soon as he comes face-to-face with a linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll see. I do have them beating Carolina today at home. That's a get-right game for them. I actually could see them winning by 10 points against Carolina today.
Yeah. It's possible.
And if they lose that game today, I don't even want to talk about them for the rest of the year because they're just way too unpredictable.
They don't deserve it. If they lose today, they're done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, if we go to now...
Predictions.
Predictions. So, we actually have some really interesting games this week.
We do.
Let me just scroll over here a little bit. All right. So, obviously, the Patriots beat the Jets already.
Yep.
We've got a game going on right now in Madrid. Even before the game started, I had Miami winning, so I don't know about you.
I would agree with that.
I would say Miami wins that game. Let's start with the AFC.
Okay.
Because I feel like the NFC has the more interesting games this week. So, Texans at Titans. The Titans have just been incredibly bad this year, and they're just in a complete rebuild.
Yep.
The Texans are in a must-win scenario. I think the Texans win the game.
Yeah, me too. I would agree with that.
Yeah. And then we've got the Bengals visiting the Steelers.
I have Bengals. I have the Steelers.
Yeah, so the Steelers already lost to Cincinnati, so they'll probably split Steelers at home.
Exactly.
I could see them getting back there. And then we've got the Chargers traveling to Jacksonville.
I think Chargers. I think I agree with you on the Jaguars are frauds. Wasn't one of their receivers still out?
Yeah, they have two, basically their two best receivers out, although they did trade for Jacoby Myers. so that kind of solves the problem a little bit. Here's my thing, though, with the Chargers. Their entire offensive line is essentially on IR. So they're playing a bunch of backups, and yet Justin Herbert is still excelling.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they had a real offensive line. I mean, but they should win this game. I've heard from some people that it could be a trap game because they're traveling cross country, and they don't have an offensive line, basically.
Still,
but they should win that game, though.
Yeah.
The Chiefs travel to Denver.
See, here's the thing.
And the Chiefs are coming off a bye week, if you can't see that.
I want to say Denver, especially because it's in Denver, but, like, I actually don't know. I feel like this is a must-win game for the Chiefs, and they always win their must-win games.
Andy Reid off of a bye is, like, one of the most elite coaches ever.
Yeah.
So I have to give Kansas City the edge here, especially because the Broncos' offense has been horrible recently. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Kansas City because they need that win. If they lose that game, they may not even make the playoffs.
And that would put them in 7th seed.
It would, yeah. It would. And then we've got Baltimore visiting Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is insanely good.
Yeah.
But the Ravens have Lamar back, so...
I think the Ravens are on the up and up again, and I think, there's no way Cleveland's offense is going to put up enough points.
Yeah, Cleveland's offense is what holds them back for sure. But I do think their defense keeps them in the game, but I still think the Ravens will win a close game, is my prediction. And then we've got some AFC versus NFC matchups this week. We already talked about Dolphins, Commanders.
Go Bills!
We've got the Buccaneers traveling to the Bills.
I think Bills win that.
I do think the Bills win, even though their run defense is horrible. But the good news for them is that Bucky Irving is still out. I believe this is like his 7th game that he's missed in a row.
Dude, I'm the biggest Bills fan of all today.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are still out for Tampa. But can we talk about how even with Tampa's injuries, they're 6-4?
Yeah.
Like, they're doing a lot with a little, and that's credit to Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
But I do think the Bills will get this one at home, which is much needed for them. Then we've got Dallas traveling to Vegas. As bad as Dallas's defense is, the Raiders are not going to keep up offensively.
They're better than Vegas, yeah.
Like, the Dallas's offense could put up almost 30 points this week, probably.
Yeah.
Especially with CeeDee Lamb back now, so it's like, I think Dallas's offense is way too good. So now we've got the interesting NFC matchups this week.
Yes.
What do you think about Bears-Vikings?
Bears? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Bears. Well, although it is in Minnesota.
You know what? JJ McCarthy isn't there yet.
Yeah, I don't trust the Vikings offense.
I don't trust their quarterback is what I don't trust. I mean, this is going to sound crazy, but I literally was watching him throw last week. Who were they playing last week? Was it Detroit?
I think so.
I forget who they were playing last week. No, because they lost last week. Who did they play last week? This is going to kill me. I have to check. They played the Ravens, yes, and they lost to the Ravens. So I was watching him throw the ball in that game, and it looked like every time he wound up for a deep pass and he let go of it, it just looked like he was flailing it forward.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a football player, but it looks like his mechanics aren't right.
Yeah.
Like, when he was throwing the ball, it just did not look natural, and it didn't look clean. It looked like he was just flailing it down the field, and he threw a really bad pick on that play.
Yeah.
So I just don't trust J.J. McCarthy, and I think Caleb Williams has developed. They have a better coach, offensive coach right now.
Yep.
Better quarterback. So I think the Bears get that. And then do you want to take this next one?
I think it's in Atlanta. It's a must-win game for Atlanta.
They have to win. They have to win.
Not even just for playoff. Like, they have to win just to be like, okay, we are a football team, right? Like,
Right. I mean, if you lose 5 in a row, and that's bookended by the injury-riddled 49ers and the Panthers, who are just not good.
Yeah.
Now, this one's interesting. The Packers are visiting the Jameis Winston-led New York Giants. And
I have
if you
to
know
go
anything about
Packers.
Jameis Winston, he is a dog.
Oh, he is.
Like,
He's absolutely.
Call me crazy, but like, I can't pick the Giants to win this game, but
No.
I could see it as an upset.
It's possible. I think this is going to be a lot harder fought of a game than a lot of people are expecting. However, you don't have Mount Neighbors, you don't have Scadaboo, you don't have
Yeah.
Dart. I know Winston is for some reason insane, but like I have to go Packers.
And if the Packers lose this game, by the way, they may not even make the playoffs. Because if they lose, they'd go to... Anyway, then we've got one of the biggest matchups of the week, Seattle at the Rams. And this is going to be like... This game will define both teams' futures, like season.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins this game is probably going to win the NFC West.
That being said, I have to go Rams. Rams are a better team in my opinion.
They are, but there's kind of a mind-boggling stat that is the Seattle Seahawks have won 10 straight road games, which is mind-boggling. They are insanely good on the road, and I don't know why. This is a matchup between two quarterbacks who are vying for MVP.
Yep.
Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford. But Matt Stafford makes considerably less mistakes than Darnold does.
Exactly.
I think. Like, Darnold can throw a pick or two here and there. Stafford, I think in his past couple games, he has like 20 touchdowns and like 2 picks.
Yeah. He has been
So,
insane.
like-
His receivers, Puka Nacua. Holy cow.
Well, they have Nakua and Devontae Adams, essentially 2 number 1 receivers on their team. And so you pick one to cover and the other one's wide open.
Yep.
So it's like...
Yeah, I got to go Rams.
Until Seattle can show me that they're the big dogs in the division, I have to take the team who's favored to win the division currently, which is the Rams. And then we've got San Francisco visiting Arizona. Brock Purdy is back this week. He's playing for the first time.
And we'll see if it should be him or Jones.
I will say, if Purdy comes out and looks kind of bad today, you know, Colin Cowherd was talking this week about a QB controversy, and I don't really disagree with that because
Yeah, I don't either.
Mac Jones has played really well considering the weapons that he has had or like lack of weapons he has had. I don't know. I just feel like if you're the Niners, you can't lose this game.
No, and I think if you do, then, and it's clearly Purdy's fault, like, maybe we put Mac Jones back in. Not maybe, they should.
Let's just say Arizona got destroyed by Seattle last week. I think it was like 35 to like 10 or whatever. Or like 40. I want to look at this because they got absolutely destroyed. It was like 35-0 at half. They lost 44 to 22. So Arizona got embarrassed last week. I could see them coming out with some fire after being embarrassed, and I do think they could keep it close.
I don't think they'll win, though. Like, I think they may keep it
don't
close, but...
I don't think they'll win either. The Niners have a better coach, easily, and they do have better offensive weapons. And for the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out today, so that's like that is their best receiver is out today.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I
and then
sneezed
we've
so
got-
hard I saw my ancestors. Holy crap.
And then we've got another, like, this is game of the week other than Seattle and the Rams.
I gotta go Eagles on this one because it's in Philly, and Detroit has been making mistakes.
They have. And here's the thing. Everybody forgets, Jared Goff plays horribly outdoors on the road.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is an indoor quarterback. When the Lions are at home, they're so good. But on the road, Jared Goff makes so many mistakes in cold weather, outdoors, and you just have to trust the Eagles, I feel like. Now, if this game were played in Detroit, I think Detroit would have the edge. But I quite simply think Detroit traveling to Philly and having Jared Goff play outdoors, that doesn't bode well for the Lions, in my opinion.
No. But yeah, so that's what it would look like. And you know what? Call me crazy. Falcons, if winning today, creep back up the order.
I mean, they do. But you would also, if you're a Falcons fan, you're rooting for a Detroit loss,
Yep.
a Niners loss,
Yeah.
and a Green Bay loss.
Yeah.
Because
Quick switch
let me just show you theoretically
Yeah.
what would happen.
Well, no, switch the Seahawks and Rams back. No, wait. Oh, if the Cardinals win, they're above the Falcons.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
it
so
doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't change much.
No, it really. I'm rooting for the Niners to win and the Bills to win. Like, those are my main.
Well, I think the biggest one though is the Packers are the most susceptible to
Yep.
falling out of the playoffs, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So, like, if they were to lose today, but still, like, which one of these teams would the Falcons jump? None of them.
Well, and that's
So
why
it's-
I think the Buccaneers need to lose the next few games. Real quick, I'm gonna pull up the Bucks schedule.
So, before I close out of this, what's your upset of the week?
My upset of the week,
Slash lock of the week. We should do that. Upsets versus lock of the week.
lock of the week. Let me look.
And then also, which one would be upset of the week?
I think my lock of the week is gonna be Baltimore. And then my upset of the week. Am I allowed to pick the Chiefs Broncos? Because I think that could go either way, and I think either way it'll be considered an upset.
I mean, I believe Kansas City is favored, so if you're saying upset, you're thinking Denver wins at home.
Then yeah, I'm going upset of the week is Denver.
Okay.
Let me look up.
If I had to pick a lock of the week, I would probably pick as crazy as this is, I think my lock is actually San Francisco.
Okay.
I think even with Purdy, even if he plays kind of the Arizona Cardinals, their only weapon is their tight end, Trey McBride. Other than that, they've got no one. So
Real quick. I have the Buccaneers schedule. All right?
okay.
I don't know if you want to pull it up or not. You don't have to. They play the Bills this week, obviously. They play the Rams next week, which they should lose.
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay. And then they play the Cardinals, which I think, Bucks win that. Yeah, I'm just going to wait till you pull it up. That's the crappy thing is they have a very easy schedule going forward minus these next two games.
Well, if they lose both of the next two, that puts them at what?
6
and 5. And then they'll beat Arizona 7 and 5.
They'll
win
beat New Orleans
8 and 5. Possible loss to Atlanta.
We'll say 8 and 6. I think they split with Carolina.
I don't know about that.
If
They're either going.
I think they're gonna go 11 and 6. I think possibly they go 12 and 5 because I think they might beat Atlanta, but I also feel like it's very tough to close out the year with 5 or 6 straight wins. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but they're gonna win the division.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
they're going to.
So at this point, I'm praying for the Packers and the Niners downfall.
Yeah, I mean and the thing is, like, even with if our predictions come right, look at who's sitting outside the playoff picture right now. So it's like the only one who I think would have a chance to creep back in is Detroit. I mean, look, the NFC is stacked this year.
I know. The Falcons definitely should be higher than they are.
They've just blown so many games, and it's unfortunate because they have a lot of good young talent.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just crazy to see, like, all of these NFC teams are, like, really good.
Yeah.
Except, I don't know, man. I don't think the Packers are that great. So,
I think they were supposed to be, but
to finish off my lock is San Francisco.
Yep.
My upset of the week is
he's studying.
I'm picking between two games right now.
Can I guess which two?
Sure.
Are they one in the NFC and one in the AFC?
One in the NFC.
I think you're going to go Giants Packers.
Yeah, I think the Giants could steal it.
Is that one of the ones you're thinking of?
I'm thinking of it, and the other one is, as much as you're going to hate this, I think Tampa could steal it in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But it's between one of those two. If I had to pick one, I don't know. I think the Giants could steal it.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the Giants could steal a win. That would be my upset of the week. And then my lock is the Niners. I think the Niners have this one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens. We're playing each other in fantasy this week. So, we could very briefly talk fantasy football. I mean, Jonathan Taylor has been just a star this year.
Yeah.
He got like 50 points last week. It was insane. But funny enough, I have the Browns defense, so hopefully they keep Lamar Jackson in check. Oh, and you have the Ravens defense.
Yep.
That's funny.
And you know what? You know what I think annoys the crap out of me? I had, for those of you that don't know, I had the first overall pick. And who did I choose? Saquon Barkley. Who was I deciding between? Bijan Robinson or Saquon Barkley. Clearly, I should have went with Jonathan Taylor overall, but and then I picked up T. Higgins. Like, I had a great team going into this season.
Yeah, it tends to happen to you.
Dude.
You draft well, and then, I mean, I guess that's what it is with fantasy football. But
yep.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I think these are some pretty good predictions for the week. A lot of really good games.
Yeah.
And is there anything else
That's
to
it for
discuss?
me. That is it for me.
All right. Well, you guys can catch us again next Sunday. And I don't know, Ethan, do you have anything else? I think I'm good.
Nope, I'm done.
All right. Well, every Sunday at 10 a.m. we are here. Come join us. And yeah.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
See ya.